Aloha and welcome back after quite the brief hiatus here on Let's Chat. I guess you could say I've been on a little bit of a vacation, when in actuality it couldn't be farther from the truth. I've just been rotting away, going stir crazy in my apartment for the past couple weeks. So anyway, joining me for today's little getaway is a returning guest and a good friend of mine, Mr. Brandon Humphrey. Thank you for coming back. I'm glad I haven't scared you off.
You can't scare me off that easy.
And I gotta say, I really like that shirt you got on there.
Thank you. I got it at the store.
The store? What was the name of the store?
Ross.
So, how has life been for you, Mr. Humphrey?
It's actually been really good.
Really?
Me and my wife just got back from a vacation last week.
It's funny you say that because today's topic of this episode is gonna be vacations, which it was your idea. Credit where credit is due. He had the idea. And you know what? I think that kind of works out perfectly because it is such a drastic juxtaposition to our previous episode together, which was Awful Jobs, which you should check that out. Because you know what? Whether our jobs are awful or good or even, decent, we all need a break. We all need a vacation. It's a time to cut loose. So, before we, I want you to regale while it's still fresh on the burners, of course. Mm-hmm. But first, what do you define as a vacation?
Something that you don't have to go to work for. You actually leave your job, your workplace, and go somewhere. I mean, you don't really have to go anywhere. You can stay at home, but with my job, they want to try to call you in when you're on vacation.
Yeah, so you'll be out of state and we need you to cover so-and-so shift.
Yeah, we were 600 miles away. We wasn't.
Yeah, let me be right there.
Yeah, right? They did that to us, actually.
Really?
They actually texted my wife and said, hey, can you guys come in and workstation 2? My wife sends a picture, and at the bottom of the picture you can see my leg.
That is hilarious.
And she said, well, where we're at the moment, I don't think we're gonna make it.
Similarly, when I was going to college, Haley and I, we were dating at the time, but we were both in the student government, and every month we'd have to be in these mandatory Zoom meetings, because I think it was also during a little bit of COVID.
Yeah.
And it was mandatory if you wanted to meet a quota, and we were both in it, so we thought it was funny to kind of just sit apart, and we just both had our cameras on, and it was visibly clear that we were at the beach, and so we were kind of finessing that. It's we're not in Kentucky, you losers. But anyway, now I'll let you talk and tell us about your recent vacation endeavor.
Our recent vacation, we went to Okaloosa, Florida.
What, Florida?
Okaloosa. Which is right there, at the slimmer of Florida. It's when you, right below, I'm not good at with the state, so I can't tell you exactly.
I don't think anything's good with that state.
We've walked to the boardwalk 3 times that week. The first day, I got burned.
Ooh, no. Not the first day.
Yep. And I got still recovering from it.
Oh, yeah, gosh.
Yeah, it's kind of hurting pulling up this leg.
Oh, I don't know if it's in frame, but if not, that's okay. There it is. There it is.
Actually, my other leg looks a lot worse.
Oh, baby. That's red and peeling.
Yep, and it does not feel good.
I cannot imagine so. Have you been, aloing up, or?
Actually, where it's peeling, I just peel the dead skin off. I just love that. I don't know why, I just do.
Oh.
But over the time of being in Okaloosa, I've been alloying up and sunscreening it up. And then I broke my phone. I was going to go put more alloy on my legs. Well, I threw the cover back and my phone went flying. So yeah, it was not fun. I actually was sad. Very sad indeed.
Oh no.
We did go eat at some good restaurants.
Oh, of course, a lot of seafood.
Not entirely seafood. Majority of the week was seafood. At the end of the week, we went to this burger joint down there.
You're with a nice burger joint.
It was really good, actually. We went to this one place. I think it was in Navarre. Yeah, Navarre.
What are these places? Navarre,
Okaloosa.
Okaloosa.
Listen, I didn't think they existed either.
I think you just unlocked a new region in Florida that I've never heard of.
So in Navarre, the ocean's beautiful there.
Oh, yeah.
So we went out, we ate, we stayed at the beach a little bit, and then I found 2 homes there.
So now you bought a summer home.
I wish. There was 2 vacation homes, not far from each other, but one was a dome, And it was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty sick.
The Floridian igloo, one might call it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. Yeah, other than that, it was a fun time. I had a lot of fun up there at the beach.
Also, I feel like it's such an easy mistake getting burned on the first day. Was that you?
That wasn't me. I did do it.
Actually, let me check something real quick. All right. Back to the action. But anyway, because, like, my wife is so bad, because she is as pale as a ghost, I'll admit it. And she doesn't tan at all, she burns. And so, like, on the first day, she won't put on any sunblock or anything. I'm like, you need to do that. She's like, but I want to tan. She won't even, like, dip in the water, which is recommended if you want it tan. And so she'll get burnt on the first day, and it just ruins the rest of the trip for you. So that's an easy mistake. You know what? What is a vacation without its little bumps here and there?
I think if you don't have little bumps, it don't make it memorable.
Exactly.
I was in the condo for like 3 days because I couldn't get out because my legs hurt so bad. But you know, it was worth it. Because
you reflect and you laugh at the bad and you savor the good.
Oh yeah, I always do. It's funny.
Now, 2 little anecdotes, because my biggest vacation ever was my honeymoon, which was a 7 full day week in Hawaii for the honeymoon. So that was awesome. Super expensive. But you know, like, as much money as we spent, the one thing I regret spending money on the most was going to Hard Rock Cafe. And it was like this chicken tender mac and cheese, which was pretty alright. She just got like a chicken tender meal, whatever. But then, horror struck.
The bill came in.
Well, but after that, though, horror struck. Because, we had, walked to this, because we were in, the main city, Honolulu, which is, a walking city for the most part. So you have, your shopping, your strip malls, your shopping outlets, all that, whatever. But the thing they don't have that's so public, bathrooms. For some reason, what they do is a lot of these outlets, they do have bathrooms, but you have to be a customer at one of either the restaurants or outlets, which are all expensive. And there's a passcode on the bottom of your receipt to do that. So anyway, we were at one of these stores that's called the ABC stores or whatever, but they don't give you the receipt. And I asked the lady there, do you all have a bathroom? Because that chicken tender mac and cheese
was coming back.
He was coming back. I was like, do you all have a bathroom? There's no, but there's one across the street. So I waddled my little turtle head popping self all the way over there. Couldn't find the bathroom for the life of me. They don't have signs or anything. So I had to go all the way to the second floor of this shopping outlet. And then I was like, oh, yes, the bathroom. It was that dollar on the fish hook dangling in front of me. But then as soon as I got to the door, I tried opening it and it was locked. And it had the little passcode thing you put on it. Oh. I was like, no. So literally what I had to do is I went back down, I walked all the way to our hotel, which had a bathroom in its pool area, so I walked all the way back over there, and then walked back to the store. All the while, my wife is just shopping for, groceries and stuff, and I tell her all of this, and I was like, whew. Because, when I got to that bathroom, that was, perfect timing, because...
You about dropped
If it wasn't the toilet that wasn't going to get it, it was probably going to be the pool. Let's be real. So that was that. But
there's a log in the pool.
We got a floater. But no, and that was probably the worst. Well, no, getting there was kind of the most stressful part. Which, can you agree that usually the first day of vacation is the most stressful part?
It is.
Because it's making sure you have the right room codes and the right, just settling in is always hard because there's always some complication.
It's always the first and last day that's a pain in the butt, but when everything in between is just great.
I agree. But another anecdote I want to share, this wasn't bad, but this shows my wife and I could easily be abducted and murdered because we did a tour of the north end of the island, which I would recommend if you ever go to Hawaii. And our tour guide was such a weird dude. We never learned his actual name. We got on the bus, we were the very first people, and he was just introducing himself, and we were introducing ourselves. We're like, so what's your name? And he says, my friends call me Bon Jovi. Anyway, the story here, because he was cool, he took us to all the exclusive photo spots that not all tourists get. So we kind of were bonding with him throughout the day. But the biggest bonding moment came during the lunch period. So they take us to this kind of, it's like a vendor alley where it's just this field with a bunch of food trucks and vendors. And my wife and I, we ate at this one that none of the other tourists went to. A delicious meal. We had this garlic roasted shrimp and had these pineapple smoothies and actual pineapples. Probably my favorite meal in Hawaii. But anyway, he comes up to us barefoot, which he was barefoot this full day, I might add. and he has a skateboard in one hand and a box of Little Caesars in the other. And he comes and sits down next to us, no one else in sight. And he's like, hey, after you guys get done eating, can I show you something? And we're like, okay, sure, whatever. So he's eating his Little Caesars, we're eating our thing. We get done, throw our stuff away. And he's like, all right, come on, let's go. And so we follow him. And he takes us to like this really run-down shack that there's like this old guy dressed like he's having like a midlife crisis out front. And he just takes us to it, and he's like, hey, man, like, I was just showing them this. And he did preface this saying, like, yeah, there's something I always like to show the coolest tourists on these trips. So he takes us into this, and this old man lets us in. And what it turns out to be is this indoor skate park. Like, just has a bunch of skater ramps and everything. And when we get in, the guy and him are talking, and Bon Jovi was like, yeah, I'm Bon Jovi. And the other guy was confused because I definitely don't think Bon Jovi was his real name. And this guy was visibly confused. He's like, oh, okay, if you're Bon Jovi, then I'm Leo. And so they had aliases, I guess. And so they take us up this like winding little metal staircase, and there's like a huge ramp. And he's like, and he gives his phone to my wife. He says, do you care to record me a little bit? And so she just records him skating for like a few minutes and we just sat on this couch watching him. And it's like, it was so like, we broke out of the simulation for a second, I think. Because here we are in Hawaii on a tour. He picks us two out of a group of like 30 to 50 just to watch him skateboard in this shady metal building where there's this random old guy just to watch him skateboard. And no one else gets that. So yeah, that was the most memorable story from Hawaii. The rest of it, of course, is perfect. It's super relaxing. Got massages, went to the beach, I do say, if you go to Hawaii, it is a must. Go to a luau.
Bang. But I want to go there anyway. So
there you go. But have there been any other trips you've gone on?
Yeah, actually, ironically, when you were bringing up honeymoons, me and my wife went on a cruise on our honeymoon.
Wow.
Best thing we've ever did. The first, I can't remember the places we went to. Can't even pronounce them. Ain't gonna try to.
Probably a boat.
Yeah. So we were out in the middle of the Bahamas, and the first place we went, we were like, okay, this is nice, you know. The water was clear, like a lot clearer than Florida. And we were sitting there all just getting drunk on the beach.
Really?
It was fun. And then after that, we went to another island. We got off. We said, nah, we're going back to the boat. Because that whole entire island, they look at you and they're like, say I handed you that weight right there, that 8-pound weight. I'm like, you want this? Come on, hold it for me. And they're like, no, don't you get near me with that. I'll beat you with it if you don't get away from me.
Wait, what were you offering to these natives?
Well, they were offering us stuff, like all these stuff, and they always say to never take it from them because they're going to make you pay for it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And if you take it and then hand it back to them, they can have you arrested.
Ooh, is that the Grifter Island then?
Oh, yeah.
There's similarly, like, I went to Florida one time, too. In the same regard, this was, oh my gosh, because there's this random guy on the street, and he was carrying this giant yellow snake. I don't know what kind they're called. But anyway, he was carrying it, and, like, we saw him, like, have, like, a little girl take photos with it. It's like, oh, cool, this is a nice, like, little local photo op. And so everyone's like, Eli, go do it. And I'm like, heck yeah, I want to hold a snake and take a photo. And so, like, I put it around my neck and everything, and the guys take my pictures or whatever. And the guy, the snake handler fella, he said, yeah, that'll be $20. As the snake is still around me, and he's asking me for money, and I'm like, what the heck? Is he gonna, like, sick this snake on me if I don't give him $20? Like, what would have happened? Like, I luckily had money on me, but what if I didn't, and, like,
You take debit?
You take debit? You probably would have pulled that crap. Just pulled out a little card reader. But that was crazy. Like, grifters are gonna grift, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't. We got a few things, and we just went back on our own volition. We wasn't staying long.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
But here's where it gets interesting. Oh. So we get all the way back, right? We get back to Florida, because that's where we were departing from. So we were waiting in line, because we had to pay, they make you pay a fee. And like whatever you overdraft on your stay, they make you pay. We only had 99 cents to pay back.
Oh my god!
We stood there for almost 20 minutes just to pay $1 back. I'm like, that ain't nice. We want to get off this boat. Well, we were sitting there, and these people behind us were talking, and they said there was a fight that broke out. off the ship. There's 2 guys that just busted out fighting. I'm like, that's great, lovely. Man, we missed something interesting. A squad of cops came onto the boat. I thought, what was all that about? Well, we get back into the States, we leave Florida, we come back home. Well, apparently 8 people got arrested on our cruise ship.
What?
Yeah, we were chilling with a bunch of convicts, apparently. 8 people was arrested and a fist fight broke out. I said, honey, I know this is going to sound funny, but this is probably one of the best vacations we've ever had.
Most memorable, at least. Gosh.
It was pretty good. I liked it a lot.
That is crazy. I mean, maybe they're trying to, get out because, the sea is, open territory. They're like, the law doesn't follow me out here. Yeah. So when they got back, it's like, honeymoon's over. Well, literally, I guess, for some people.
Yeah. Well, what was really funny about it all is the guy they have a intercom that goes through all the rooms and all over the ship. He said, well, we had a very interesting morning this morning, but I hope you all have a good time. Good time to come back. It's like,
come back. There'll be less convicts next time. But now, vacation, people affiliate that a lot with tropics, beach, which we kind of covered, and but is do you think going to just say Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, just a kind of a day trip or something can count as a vacation?
Well, I would count it as a vacation because you're not going to work. You're away from your job. You can go and relax. As long as, in Gatlinburg, as long as the bears don't come in your home, you're all right.
Which even that can be memorable.
Yeah, when I went to Gatlinburg one year, we had a bear sitting in the backyard. And
they were going to say the back seat.
The back seat. Yo, bro, what are you doing here? But we kept throwing food at it. Well, it ended up at our front door, and we're like, yep, we're not going out that door. Looks like we're going over the balcony.
Gotta take the black bear detour. But no, I agree. Because, I recommend one day. Have you ever done the local bus tours at all? But because it's $250 or $300 depending where you're going. For just for each person, they take you on an overnight trip. They'll drive you up to a big destination. Last year, Haley and I, we went to Niagara Falls, which that was a bucket list experience. And then we went to Salem, Massachusetts, which you don't really. And it was just for a full day, and so you don't really think of that as a vacation. It could be a daycation if you consider that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I would check that out. They're on Facebook, and if you're local, check them out. I'm not sponsored. I wish I was, but they're still really cool. I think you get your money's worth, and it makes going to those big places really easy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Any other memorable stories? What's a good one to end on? Because we might wrap up here rather shortly.
Really, honestly, the honeymoon one would probably be the best one to wrap up on. The one I was just talking about. It is probably one of the best moments of my entire life.
Aww. I agree, and I can attest to that. And for those out there, if maybe you're not honeymooning, but if you just kind of want a break from the daily hustle and bustle, because that's what people need more than anything. I'm sure that's what you and your wife needed just this recent time. Wasn't even for a honeymoon. It's work stressful, financial stuff, whatever. It could be whatever stresses. You just need to escape from that for a bit. Go treat yourself. But real quick, you have a book.
I actually do.
Gotta do the plug-in for my homie.
I actually have 2 of them, actually. Ooh. So the first one is they both have the same title, but they both have the same title as you can see. But this one is the script that I did not mean to print out.
So you accidentally made a second book.
Yeah, pretty much. So I removed it on the book patch.
So there's a limited inventory of this.
This is the script. Now, coming down to it, this is the actual book. 297 pages worth.
Well, that's a good read, then.
It's actually on the book patch, so if you want, I can send you the link if you want to put it in the description here.
Yes, yes.
And hopefully your viewers can get a copy.
All 13 of you.
Depending on you.
And of course, I'm depending on you. Check him out. Check out this channel. Like, comment, subscribe. If not, that's okay, because you know what? At the end of the day, we do this for the love and the passion. But like that, of course, that is a wrap.